So, Brittany, it was good learning about your company, and what I want to share with you now is that we had some information that we obtained from our clients doing a lot of research, and there's 3 objectives that all businesses, regardless of size, really focus on. The first one is cash management, and obviously this is pretty self-explanatory. Regardless of size of the company, cash management is paramount in the success of the business. One of 3 things. Additionally, people management. I apologize for my artistic lack of ability. And last but not least, risk management. So I'm sure that there are others, but these are the 3 main ones that we found that are extremely important. For your business, which of the 3 would you say is probably of most concern that you focus on the most?
I think that cash is always my primary focus.
Yeah, and you know what? Most feel that way. You know, most businesses I speak with say that all 3 are very important, but cash seems to be top of mind.
Right, okay.
Now, I know that from speaking with you earlier that you are a smaller business. You have about how many employees again?
8, and then myself.
Okay, about 9 employees. Well, if you kind of think about the life cycle of a business, there are 4 stages that businesses fall into. You initially have your startup business. And with your startup business, you know, this is just the entrepreneur may have a business partner. They have a concept or an idea that they put out in the marketplace, and they're starting to test the waters and starting to get some business up and running. The next, you have your survival phase. So you've been in business for a while. You've got some profits coming in. You're generating some revenue, but you know, it's not on a consistent basis. You're really trying to make ends meet. You've got to pay all your vendors, and from there, you next go into the takeoff stage. Okay. Now, with your takeoff stage, the business has been pretty consistent. You know, you're at the point of coming to a fork in the road. Do we want to go for growth with the business? What are we looking to do? You know, a lot of options come into play, but the strength of the business is definitely built up from the lower 2 stages. And then ultimately, you want to reach success. Excellent. At success stage, the business is flourishing. You know, you've expanded, you've increased your staff. There's many things that you have done with your 8-employee company. And I don't like to pigeonhole and say only because you have 8 employees you belong in this category, because there are some small companies that are already at the success stage. There are some startups that have 30 employees. So where would you say that your business falls?
We are definitely still in survival mode.
Okay.
Or actually, we've just made it to survival mode.
And why would you say that?
I don't think we're so much a startup anymore because we are starting to hire more, but we're still, cash is our number 1 option. If we don't get our number 1, concern, if we don't get paid, then we can't stay open. So we're looking to continue to try it and thrive by just getting paid and being able to, I guess, move towards the takeoff phase.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you think of, you know, that I work in the small business services arena, so in all my years with ADP, I deal with businesses like yours all the time, you know, and there's a lot of unique things with the people I speak with, but there's a common thread, and it's these 3 things, and ultimately trying to get to success. So I can appreciate that. With the research we've done, there are some statistics that I want to share with you, just a few, which I think are very important. 48% of the businesses say that cash flow is the number 1 concern. So very similar to you. Every other business feels exactly the same way you do. That's extremely important. 58%, before I go any further, I know that with you having 8 employees, yourself being 9, from an HR perspective, do you have an HR staff or a person who kind of...
Yeah.
Okay.
Me.
Me, okay. What the statistic basically says is that of your administrative time, or excuse me, of your HR time you're spending, 58% is spent on administrative tasks. Non-productive tasks, but they're imperative in terms of the onboarding of employees, in terms of training of the employees, in terms of putting benefits in place to keep your employees happy, give them the tools to keep morale up, etc. So does that sound like a fair number?
Probably more than that.
Okay.
Always doing admin stuff.
Well, that's a good point. We'll put 58% plus. Okay. This next statistic I find very, very interesting. According to the Department of Labor, 7 out of 10 businesses are out of compliance. 7 out of 10, so 70% of the businesses are out of compliance. Again, going back to the small business, a lot of companies don't have an HR staff. They don't have an HR professional on staff where they can ensure that they're in compliance. You know, as with the IRS, the Department of Labor, you know, each jurisdictional level, everything is ever changing. So unless you have that degree, unless you have that ability and the resources at your disposal, it's absolutely impossible to stay on top of everything and everything that's changing. So 70%, that may be low as well, but we'll stick with 70%. The last one I want to share with you is 1 out of 4. Statistically speaking, 1 out of 4 employees are going to make a change and leave their current employer this year.
Wow.
So I know you said you've got 8 employees, so that would mean 2 of your employees, if you're, you know, hitting that exact percentage. Could be lower, could be higher. Let's hope it's lower. But if you were to lose 2 of your employees, how would that impact you?
There are 2 in particular that I couldn't imagine my business existing without them.
Why couldn't you? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, like I said, I'm the person that deals with all the HR. I'm obviously the business owner, but I delegate a lot of the important other tasks in terms of the operations of the business to, specifically to, ironically, of my employees that are, they're the pulse of my business along with me. So
Yeah.
we really all work together to make it the machine that it is. And by no means do I mean that that's perfect, but we're moving in the right direction.
Well, exactly. It's a family atmosphere. A lot of small companies have that. So, you know, as these statistics show, and with any of these 3 objectives, regardless of what stage your business is in, you know, any of these things can make the business fail.
Yep.
So it's a rat race, trying to manage everything, trying to make your business successful, while still doing all those internal HR things to make sure you're compliant, employees morale, et cetera, et cetera. One thing that our clients have enjoyed by partnering with ADP, and that you will see as well, is that with ADP, we're going to help you move towards that success. We're going to address all of these things that are not only statistically proven, but the concerns that you mentioned. You know, obviously our goal, you've come from here to here, we'd like to continue to try to help you obtain and reach your goals. And the way that you're going to do that is the tools that ADP will provide you. We're going to help you with your cash flow management. And that can be a number of ways with the payroll taxes and going through with pulling them out each payroll, again with the workers' comp, and we'll get into that later. There's a lot of things that we can do to help you there. From a people management, we're going to provide you with HR tools, all the things that you need to reduce that 58% administrative time so you can focus on doing things to help grow the business. Okay. And in terms of risk, we're going to provide you with all the compliance tools that you need so that this 70%, 7 out of 10, is not going to be a concern for you. And all of this is going to be provided to you with the partnership with ADP with our technology. Okay. With our technology, we're going to streamline your entire process. You're going to have the integration through our innovation to give you everything that you need to be successful. How does that sound?
I think you spelled it out perfectly, and I'm definitely interested in partnering with ADP to get towards the success stage of my business. Thank you, Kevin.
Outstanding. Right here, please.